Have you ever seen the horizon? You know, where the sea and the sky meet? No matter how far you walk, it always seems to be ahead of you. Dreams also feel the same way sometimes, right? But what if I told you that destiny isn't at the horizon? It's in the steps you're taking right now to reach there. Hello everyone, my name is Mitali. I'm 22 years old, a little bit nervous today. This is my first ever TEDx talk, and I'm born and brought up in Agra. With this first TEDx talk of mine, allow me to tell you 3 stories which have literally shaped my life and made me the person I am today. And meanwhile, you also might get to know me a little bit better. Beginning with the first one, which says, I'm a firm believer of dreaming big and dreaming the unthinkable. Allow me to elaborate. So I was 17 in my 12th grade, very demotivated, sitting in my small hostel room in the city of Kota and preparing for this humongous exam called NEET. For those of you who don't know, NEET is a pre-medical entrance test. Now, it was almost 1 year to go for my exam, and here I am desperately looking for motivation. So I pick up a chalk and I write on my almirah in my hostel room, NEET 2020, All India rank 1. Wild and unthinkable, right? Even I knew it, which is why I wrote it in such a way that only I could see it. Nobody else entering my room would be able to see it. But just for perspective, that year more than 13 lakh students were appearing for this exam. But anyway, cut to 16th October 2020, result day. I'm sitting alone in my room, okay, at home, because I'm COVID positive. And my laptop in front of me. The site, as usual, is crashing again and again. I enter my registration number, my DOB, my heartbeat is racing, my breathing is shallow, my fingers are crossed. The result finally loads. And the screen says, Mitali Sharma, All India rank 68. Wild. This was something, thank you. I cannot tell you what happened at my home after this. All forms of social distancing were forgotten, okay? My dad came into my room after 5 or 7 days, and he literally gave me a tight hug. I had never seen my mom and dad this happy, at least in my life. Even I cried so many tears of joy because my hard work, my sacrifices, living away from home for 2 long years in Kota, it was finally making sense, bearing me fruits. But my wild and unthinkable dream of All India rank 1 wasn't fulfilled, right? And that's exactly the lesson of this first story. And it's also a quote my mom often tells me, which is, aim for the moon. So even if you miss, you may hit a star. And AIR 68 was my star moment, you guys. It taught me a lot. Of course, to dream big, but more than that, to believe in my dreams, to believe in myself, that anything and everything that I want, I can achieve it. That's the confidence I gained. It also taught me that hard work is always rewarded. No matter a few weeks, days, months, years later, nobody else might be, but the universe is keeping an account of your hard work. For example, my extremely stressful days back in Kota, which I almost quite literally hated, made MBBS days later in my life seem like a cakewalk and too easygoing. So trust me and take my word on this. If you're going through a rough patch right now in life, life is preparing you for something big. And now that you know me a little bit better, let's get to story number 2. Now, the title of this story is also a quote by Paulo Coelho, which says, when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. And इसकी हिंदी है, और गौर फरमाइएगा, कि अगर किसी चीज़ को बड़ी शिद्दत से पाने की कोशिश करो, तो सारी कायनात तुम्हें उससे मिलाने की साजिश में लग जाती है. I know guys, मेरे साथ भी ये scam हो चुका है. I thought this was Shah Rukh Khan and Om Shanti Om, but this was originally Paulo Coelho. Now for this story, let me take you back to 2014 actually, 11 years back. I was in my 7th grade, and like any other 12-year-old, extremely excited to enter my teenage. And in this era in my life, I was too obsessed with Bollywood, events, award functions, articles, etc., to an extent that I one day told my mom, that I want to grow up and become an actor, only to be featured in these articles, events, etc., etc. To which my very Indian mom, of course, replied with two counters. Number one, that students who are good at studies, they take science and they become doctors, engineers, and, don't become actors. And her second one, which was very important, she said that, what do you think, is becoming an actor that easy or what? Do you even know how many people go to Bombay every year and they struggle, and what a fraction of those people actually become actors? Now, this seemed logical to me. But in hindsight, when I look at it, I feel less than 13 lakh, I suppose. But jokes apart, the 12-year-old Mitali, of course, thought to herself that, why can't I do both? But, I'm not the elder. I'm the eldest sibling at my house. So essentially, nobody to guide me or sit me down or tell me that why or why not can I do both. So nothing. Life went on. I forgot this dream of mine. Cut to today. So this good at studies Mitali today is just 1 month away from her final MBBS exams. So 1 month away from becoming a doctor. But the creative Mitali today, she has just crossed 1 million subscribers on her YouTube channel 3 months back. I also hosted an event for YouTube just last year. I also got an article published about me in the newspaper, and this was on my birthday, by the way, last year. And I also got interviewed by this very mainstream news company. So essentially, all my 12-year-old dreams checked, but that's not it. I took an international solo trip just 2 months back at 22. And this last one, it wasn't even a dream I ever saw. It wasn't even a plan I ever had. And Zakir Khan once said in one of his videos, कि इतने तो मेरे सपने भी नहीं थे जितने पूरे हो गए. And I think I completely relate. But now, when my parents ask me, that they're worried about what would my sisters grow up and do, and what should they actually plan for them, I remind them about the plans they had for me, which were very simple and straight, by the way. I just had to prepare for my NEET UG, get a good rank, then get into a good MBBS college, finish my MBBS, give my NEET PG, get a good rank there, then do my postgrad, and get into some sort of private practice or some job, and then it's my choice, what kind of a doctor do I want to marry. But little did we realize that, when that 12-year-old Mitali asked to herself that why can't I do both, nobody else might have heard. But the universe listened, smiled, and replied, so be it. तुझे करने हैं ना दोनों, तू कर ले यार. हाँ, और फिर हरिवंश राय बच्चन जी की एक लाइन है कि मन का हो तो अच्छा और ना हो तो और भी अच्छा, क्योंकि फिर वो ईश्वर के मन का होता है. खैर ये लाइन मैंने ना सिर्फ अपनी मम्मी के लिए यहाँ प्लग इन की है. शी इज़ सिटिंग राइट हियर इन द फर्स्ट रो. क्योंकि मेरे तो मन का ही किया था यूनिवर्स ने. हाँ, ओके. So, this story completely changed my perspective of life. It taught me that no matter how many plans I make for myself, the universe is always going to have better ones. So 3 साल पहले से ना, I have decided this one thing. I have stopped asking for anything when I pray to God. I pray and I tell the universe that allow me and give me the strength and the knowledge to pass through your plan in the best possible way. Because I know there's no better plan. But this story also taught me one more important lesson, that the universe is conspiring, but it's also waiting for you to take that first step, that leap of faith, So I remember when in 2020, COVID happened, lockdown happened, and then I had to come back from Kota to Agra, and my NEET was postponed indefinitely, and I was extremely burnt out, okay. So this was my first morning at home, and all my clothes are still packed in those suitcases, and I was too lazy to unpack. So I took a shower and I wore one of my mom's suit. And now that I was looking pretty and wearing a suit after practically 2 long years, the classical dancer in me suddenly woke up. And it said, why not try that semi-classical choreography you saw on YouTube? So I was like, okay, can try. So I learned this choreography in literally 20 minutes. And then I don't know what in me told me that let's shoot a video. I literally sat on my bed And I adjusted my phone using a water bottle as a stand, and I shot my first ever video. And practically never stopped. And the rest is history. Till date, I have put out more than 1,000 content pieces on my YouTube channel, only by being consistent with my YouTube game. Thank you. Now this taught me that the universe is conspiring, and it got me to shoot that first video. But to keep at it, to keep uploading every day, to learn everything from scratch, from scripting, to filming, to editing, to lighting, and to most importantly manage this alongside my MBBS going on, was a choice I made for myself. So the point I'm trying to make here is that you really have to keep at it. There will be situations in life where you feel that nothing is working out for me. Then my friend, you have to get up and make things work out for yourself. That's the only way out. Now, this brings me to my third and my last story for the day, which is that when you think that failure has hit you and hit you hard, and you know everything is over, fasten your seatbelts, because it's the beginning of something remarkable. So as I mentioned, I started content in 2020. And by May 2023, I had got my Instagram page to 60, 70,000 followers. And one fine morning, I wake up and I realize that my Instagram account has been hacked and disabled. And after multiple failed attempts of, getting this account back, in September, I realized that now this is permanently disabled. So essentially, no way I'm getting this back. Now, I was shocked. I was shook. I had all sorts of negative thoughts in my mind that why is life so unfair to me? Why me? Etc., etc. Because it just might be an Instagram page for everybody else. But it was 3 years of pure hard work for me. And in these days of grief, I got back home one day. This was around my Diwali holidays. And I picked up my iPad. Just as a distraction, I started doing digital art so that I do not think about my Instagram account and be sad. I got so engrossed in this thing, that in the next 5 to 7 days, I came up with a digital calendar and a digital planner for 2024. And before I knew it, I was standing in the streets of Delhi to actively look out for printers to help me get these products printed. And before I could process anything else, I made a website by myself on Wix. I cracked payment gateway on this website. I listed these products on my website and I promoted them using my YouTube channel. And in less than a week, in less than 7 days, I was completely sold out. I didn't have people to help me pack this amount of stock I had to ship out to so many people who had bought this from me. And mind you, this was just 2 months before my final third year MBBS exams were supposed to happen. So after my exams, when I actually got the time to process that what just happened, when I look back, I'm genuinely grateful for what happened to my Instagram. Because had it not been, I would have never known that I can practically start up a business. Okay, small business, but with zero experience, in the middle of my med school, just 2 months before my exams, without even telling my parents, and that too, profitably. So, the lesson learned here is that, failure and moments of grief are bound to happen in life, and we cannot control them. But what we can control is our reaction to these situations. Do we sit, grieve, and make them a setback for us? Or do we actively make them an opportunity in disguise? And so, with the limited life experience I've had in my life, I very strongly relate with the theme given to me for the day, which is Kshitij. You know the horizon, where the sea and the sky, your dreams and your destiny meet? One calls you ahead, and the other waits for your arrival. And yeah, that brings me to the end of my 3 stories and also my time limit. But one last thing about me, I'm very fond of poetry, So I'd like to end my first TEDx talk with a beautiful one by Fahmida Riaz ji. It's in Hindi, and it goes, कुछ लोग तुम्हें समझाएंगे, वो तुमको खौफ दिलाएंगे. कुछ लोग तुम्हें समझाएंगे, वो तुमको खौफ दिलाएंगे. जो है वो भी खो सकता है, इस राह में रहज़न हैं इतने. कुछ लोग तुम्हें समझाएंगे, वो तुमको खौफ दिलाएंगे, जो है वो भी खो सकता है, इस राह में रहज़न है इतने, कुछ और यहाँ हो सकता है। कुछ और तो अक्सर होता है, पर तुम जिस लम्हे में ज़िंदा हो, ये लम्हा तुमसे ज़िंदा है। लेट दैट सिंक इन। पर तुम जिस लम्हे में ज़िंदा हो, ये लम्हा तुमसे ज़िंदा है, ये वक्त नहीं फिर आएगा, तुम अपनी करनी कर गुज़रो, जो होगा देखा जाएगा। थैंक यू सो मच एवरीबॉडी।